Evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. Promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo. We're still in the mood to talk about the FIFA Women's World Cup and, of course, everything happening around the tournament. We'll also give you a slice of what is happening in the world of sports aside the FIFA Women's World Cup. And hopefully on the show, we will be able to give you insights from what's going on right there in Brisbane and what's also going on in Australia. It's a two-man show, and of course, I'm not alone. My partner, colleague, Austin Okonakman, is suited and ready, and we're taking this trip together across the money-spinning world of sports. Austin, once again, we're doing this together.
Very great to I mean, special shout out to everyone joining us on the show tonight. Yes, we're still celebrating women's contribution to sports, particularly as it concerns Nigeria. We were still celebrating what the Super Falcons did against Australia at the FIFA Women's World Cup. The Tigress, they said, no, we've got to jump into this mood of celebration, and they started their Afro-basket campaign with a resounding victory today. That's so beautiful. Double whammy celebration. Yemi, what can we do without our women?
Not much. Not much. The world is always excited when you have them in it. All right, let's quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio before we go straight into the segment where we talk about the Super Falcons and everything happening with the Super Falcons. Ikena Okechukwu joins us now. Ikena, greetings to you. Thanks for finding our time to join us this lovely Friday.
Thank you. It's a happy Friday. We are entering the weekend in a happy mood. Of course, the Falcons made us happy yesterday. So we look forward to more happy times as they go into the competition. But it's good to be here.
All right, let's, before we talk about the Super Falcons, let's talk about our African sisters. They were in action today. And so let's give to you the results. Just when we thought that Banyana were going to get a win today, they found the way to throw away a 2-goal lead, and it doesn't happen for them. They played against Argentina. Argentina in women's football, not really a strong force, not a powerhouse like Brazil and the others. And of course, Temi Gatlana got a goal. I mean, everything was going well, 2-goal lead. Somehow, they conspired to throw that 2-goal lead away, and they're yet to get their first win in the tournament. So pictures on your screen showing you just that. But let's quickly give you those results while we'll quickly talk about it. And of course, you'll see what happened in Group G today. Taking a look at the results of matches played, Friday's results, you have England and Denmark. The English ladies, the Lionesses, won by a lone goal. China, playing with a woman down, defeated Haiti by a lone goal. And of course, the game, that feature game that we're talking about, Argentina in Group G, Argentina and South Africa ended 2-2. Ikena, let me just quickly come to you. You want to say a few words before we go into the next segment, which is all about the Super Falcons, by the way. Your thoughts at 2-0, I thought they were cruising. Some errors here and there.
I stayed away to watch that game. Particularly, I thought that South Africa will come out with a win, but unfortunately, it's all about game management. They couldn't manage the game well, and I think the coach, Desiree, I think she made some bad calls in terms of substitutions. So they couldn't. And during her post-match interview, she was talking about marking. And if you watch the second goal in particular, the equalizer, you see that there were only 2 South Africans against 3 Argentines in the box. So which was you rather question why they should have such a defense, a team that was in lead, and they lost a lot of chances. They missed sitters. So I think it's a learning curve. We always say that during competitions, but hey, what else can we say? It's a learning curve. They have to go, but they have to get a win in their last game against Italy. But it's not going to be easy. This was a game they could have gotten 3 points from, and then move into their last game with full of confidence. But now I think the camp there is quietness in the camp. There is doubts. here and there. You know, everybody thought they could have done it because the way they played in the Alcon, the way they won the championship, everybody thought that it was South Africa's time, you know, to establish themselves as a safe
doing
force
it on the global stage.
But once again, they fell short, and I think the questions will be asked.
All right, questions should be asked. Let me go to Austin. And 1 point from 2 matches. How costly is this draw? It's a draw that does feel like a loss because this was a winnable game for Banyana.
I totally agree. I mean, and they've put themselves in a very difficult situation. I also want to jump on Ikena's point, that is man management. And to an extent, loss of concentration. Before that match, both sides needed to make a statement. I thought Argentina did put up a good shift against Italy in their first game, and then they lost it. South Africa were almost winning against Sweden. They took their eyes off the ball, and they lost 2-1. So both teams needed to come out today to win. And I was so happy when Motello scored the first goal for South Africa. In the 30th minute, the Banyana went into the lead with a 1-0, advantage, came back second half. Katlana got 1 goal. It was scored for offside, and then she scored another one that stood 2-0. And it's just, so always say, you cannot be complacent. Eyes on the prize. 2-4-7. I think South Africa, I cannot say they underrated the Argentines because the Argentines showed some promises in first half, and they were dangerous on the counter-attack, and they were making good use of the ball. They were resourceful. Somehow, it paid off for the Argentines, and it ended 2-2. It was more of a win for the Argentines to come back, and if you see the way they celebrated that one, they really needed it. Now they will go all out and put everything that they have in their final game against Sweden. Now South Africa must dig deep and bring out their calculators, because even when they beat Italy, they don't have their destinies in their hands, I mean.
All right, and that's definitely a situation that we are not in. And we are happy not to be in that situation, because our destiny definitely in our own hands. And that takes us to the next segment, which is where we focus on Group B, all the updates, the group that includes Nigeria. And just to quickly let you know that this segment is brought to you by Stanbic IBTC, the official insurance partner of the Super Falcons. All right, let's dive straight into it. Ike, I've spoken to Austin, I've spoken to quite a few guys. Your thoughts? Even in your opening remarks, you alluded to how happy you feel that the Super Falcons were able to win their game. Now, do you think the job is done?
No, it's not done. It's not done. It's, I think when they got that draw against Sweden, that was when I had...
Against Canada.
Against Canada. That's when I had my hopes. They raised my hope, because in a competition, once you get your first game, no matter who you're playing, once you get a point,
a result,
exactly. Once you get a result, you are in the competition. So you are now prepared, you build your confidence. But if you lose your first game, it's very difficult to come back. So once they got that draw against Olympic champions Canada, I think it raised their hopes. And everybody knew that somehow they were going to beat Australia. But how we were going to do that, we didn't really know. But hey, they put out their A game. And I think Oshuala's coming in was a blessing in disguise. Okay, I don't think from what I've read and what I've seen online, I don't think she was happy being on the bench when the game started. But at least you understand that they were trying to manage, because she's coming up from an injury, so they're trying to manage her. Sorry. So winning that game against Australia, there's happiness, there's confidence in the camp, and I think going into the game against Ireland, they should be favorites to win that game.
All right, it should be. All right, we talk about Nigerians everywhere, and of course, our own Cecilia Morogbe is right there in Brisbane. But let's just quickly listen to the immediate reaction of Nigerians on the streets, how they felt when, of course, Nigeria dismantled the co-host and got that victory.
Excited, like, the game was just like, it was the best, for real. Like, everyone, like, from the beginning, I predicted 3-1 actually, and he ended up as 3-2, but I have a headache from screaming.
such an extraordinary feeling.
3-2.
I mean, it's
3.
The atmosphere was just crazy. The atmosphere was crazy. Like, I mean, we had probably 99% Aussies here, but like we were the minority, and come on, we still came up on top. I mean, kudos to the girls, kudos to Oshoala. She came in and she scored a beautiful goal. I mean, Payne was excellent. Khan was brilliant. The lads were really good. The girls were really good. So kudos to them. And it's celebration tonight all around Australia.
All along.
Let's go.
They really did great. They did great for real. They did great for real because the pressure from the first half was like a bit much.
Yeah.
Like Australians had the greater possession, and just before the end of the first half, they scored the first goal, and Nigeria equalized right at the end of the first half. But then they came back stronger in the second half. All the same, Australia still had the greater possession, but we had the greatest goals.
Yeah.
And we had the best of it. Yeah. So congratulations to the girls. Like they did a great job. Beautiful job.
I mean, kudos to the host. Australia, thank you so much for
Thank you for hosting us, Australia.
The guys didn't want to stop talking, and you could understand. And I mean, what else can be said? I almost feel that the tournament probably shouldn't end because it brought a feel good, you know. Everybody's happy. I don't know. Everybody's just happy, and it's very interesting. All right, Cecilia Morogwe is ready now, and she joins us. I mean, I don't know how she felt listening to those guys. I'm sure she couldn't ask more than a question because those guys were just ready to talk. Cici, thanks for joining us. Feels good to have you join us again today.
Yeah, it's great to be here once again. Good evening, EME, and good evening, Austin. And of course, it's good morning from here in Australia because it's 6:12 a.m.
All right. I mean, let me throw one in before I yield the floor to Austin. I asked you the last time we spoke about how excited the fans back there were, and the pictures, I mean, definitely tell the story of how excited they are. But let's talk about expectations now, since everything is calming now and the dust has settled. Now that we've beaten Australia, with the people you've listened to, Nigerians right there in Australia, what have they been saying ahead of the next game?
Yeah, I think from the fans' perspective, they just want Nigeria to go ahead and get the 3 points and, of course, top that group and move to Sydney for the round of 16. While some others who live here want them to finish second, maybe draw the game, and, of course, remain right here in Brisbane. But that's from the feelers, from the fans. But from the players, of course, the technical crew, their own is they want to maintain that winning run they've started. I mean, they didn't lose against Canada, it was a draw. And of course, the win against Australia is the momentum they want to sustain, because for them, sustaining that's the only way they can actually, continue with the run that they are having. And that is why on Friday, they didn't really have much work to do. There was no intensive training. They had a gym session, then also a pool session, just relaxing, walk around the hotel, and then go to the zoo, just relax a bit, not much work to do. Then on Saturday, that's when they will start their training proper. So Friday, they had time to relax, reflecting on that victory. There's something I saw about the ladies is the fact that they're not being carried away by this particular victory at all, because according to they say work starts now. They just started their campaign at the World Cup. They just played 2 games, so they're not going to keep celebrating this. This is already in the bag. Their focus is now on that final group game against Republic of Ireland, knowing that Republic of Ireland, of course, they are out, they have won the game. But if you look at Canada has got 4 points, same thing with Super Falcons. And of course, the co-host nation, Australia, they've got just 3 points, having defeated Ireland by a lone goal. They're going to be playing Canada. So the group is all poised. Of course, the Falcons, from the failures I heard from them this morning when I went to the hotel, thinking I should be able to talk to 1 or 2 players, but the girls were just relaxed, just trying to enjoy the victory and then prepare for the game against Republic of Ireland on Monday.
Cecilia, I understand that Coach Randy Wardrum is picking up from the focus that the girls have displayed so far. How important is that game against Ireland? What you can hear the girls saying, would there be any room for complacency?
At all, at all. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, they said the victory against Australia is already in the bag. And the reason why they celebrated that so much was because of the fans, the crowd and everything. They wanted to show that, yes, a tenant can actually beat a landlord, and that was what they did. So that is already in the bag. And the focus now is on Republic of Ireland. They want to continue with that momentum that they've started. They don't want to draw back. Fine, with a draw, yes, they will get into the round of 16, but they're not looking at the draw at all. They're looking at the win, just maintaining that momentum going into that round of 16. Because according to what some of the players were saying, they like Sochida Kanu and all, they want to see, because they know this is what they can do. When they're together, they know what they can offer. They know they have the quality and everything. Republic of Ireland may be ranked higher than Nigeria, because Nigeria is one of the least ranked country in that group. I think they're ranked 27th in the world. So they may be ranked higher than the Super Falcons, but they're not looking at that at all. They're not going to look at the Republic of Ireland as a team that is just coming to the World Cup. They're making their debut. It's the first time they're qualified for the FIFA Women's World Cup, and you don't really have a star player to say this is a player you can hold on to. So they're going to play as a unit. They're going to play as a team. So when you're playing against a team like that, you also have to be disciplined, because you don't have someone you can say, okay, we can hold on to this player, and then the others will shoot for us. There's nothing like that. So they're going to play as a unit. And the coach, as I've said before, that the coach set up his team according to his opponent. That's what he does. We've seen what he has done so far with his squad. Try to set up his team according to his opponent. So I'm sure he's going to do the same thing against Republic of Ireland. We haven't seen Money Gifts play. We haven't seen Del Bayern. So he's still got some, players that they haven't seen. And that's why the Australians were really shocked and surprised by what the Super Falcons pulled up, despite the fact that they didn't have those key figures, Okwara Nozie and Aziza, because that was the names that was on the lips of everyone. That's why the Australians felt really disappointed that even without the star players starting, they still lost the game to Nigeria.
Cecilia, you know what? We aren't done with you yet. Just hold on. Let's listen to Coach Randy Waldrum and some Super Falcons players, and we'll come back. We'll get more reactions from Cecilia.
Training, and then even the people back in Nigeria, the support and the messages that we're getting have been great. So just continue to help us. We feel the vibe, and we need to keep it coming. I think you saw the mentality is incredible, because it would have been very easy to give up a goal right before half and been down, but even we responded again after they did before half, and then the resiliency to come back and turn the game around in the second half. I just think this team has an incredible spirit, and the chemistry together is unbelievable, and as long as we have that, we can beat anybody.
I mean, from the start, we have to encourage ourselves. First of all, we have to believe in ourselves that we could do it, and that was what played out there. I mean, we had the support from each other, we had support from the bench, from the technical crew and all of that, and we had to go out there and show the world what we can do, and that was what we did. I mean, I know I scored a goal, but I didn't really know I performed so well. I mean, I'm so happy, I'm excited. I won the woman of the match, and I give it up to my team. They made it happen for me. They made it possible.
Personally, I think this is a way of motivating our team, and also trying to give the girls confidence going into the next game, because at the end of the day, it's one game at a time. We've not qualified yet. We still have to stay focused and try to make sure we get things right in the next game. And I'm just happy for the team. The girls deserve this, to be honest. It's been a lot of hard work, and it's been a lot of sacrifice that actually got us here. The most important thing for us is to take it one step at a time. And I've been scoring 3 different World Cup. I'm just having fun. I'm just enjoying my career. Just a young girl going out there to have fun, and I'm glad that I'm able to walk this journey with my teammates. Amazing people, amazing girls, hardworking ones, and hopefully we get a good result in the next game, and then we can move on to the next round. Fingers crossed. Whatever happens, don't talk down on the team. Just keep encouraging the girls, and we'll try to make you proud.
I totally agree with Asisa Toshala. Nigerians, whatever happens, don't talk down on the team, support them. She's just a young girl having fun, and I totally agree also. 28 to 29, has scored in 3 different World Cups, and woo, that goal, I'm tempted to still talk about it, but it seems we need to go on a quick break. When we come back, Ike and I still in the Lagos studio. Cecilia is right there in Brisbane. We'll talk more about the Super Falcons. Don't go anywhere. Stay.
Welcome back. We're still on the matter, talking about the FIFA Women's World Cup. A quick reminder that this segment is sponsored by Stanbic IBTC, the official insurance partner of the Super Falcons. All right, let's move on and talk about the remaining matches. Cecilia Moragwe is still with us. She's right here in Brisbane. Ikena is with us in the Lagos studio. I'm going to talk a little, before we end this segment, talk a little about the upcoming matches. We've said a few things about it as well, but let's just quickly, let you know, like a situation report, and that's it. You can just walk up to the screen and talk about it. Ikena, you look at this: Canada, Australia, Ireland, Nigeria. We're in a situation that feels good, if you ask me, because it looks like to secure qualification, Canada and Australia must cancel each other out. Yeah. And if we do not lose, I don't...
By 2-0.
Let's not even lose. But you see, I don't... That's where I'm going. I knew you were going to say that. I don't believe those who say that the Irish don't have a role to play anymore. They could be spoilers.
No, they can be spoilers. They do. They're decent side. They have good players. I did watch the game against Canada. They scored first from that corner. So they're a good side. They have not lost woefully in any of their games. They have been in the games. Just one of those odd moments that happen in football. So they're still in the game. And they want to go back home. They have massive support. People are watching over. They want to go back home with a victory. And remember what happened to us with Paraguay in 1998 World Cup, right? We were beating silly.
We brought our beating.
Yes. So
because we had qualified.
We were qualified. So I know that we will pull through tomorrow. We have a very good side going into this competition. The side is, at least for the 2 games we've watched, they are very decent. There are still room for improvement in some of the areas they are lacking, especially ball recovery rates. I think in the last 2 games we've played, the other opponents, I think the ball recovery is 7 seconds. Ours is like 20-something seconds. So those are the things we can work on. And we really want to see, for a long time, we've not seen Ajibade and Oshuala pair. We have not seen them in competition because in the last AFCON, Oshuala was injured. So, now that this Ajibade has really matured into the game. So we would love to see them tomorrow, on Monday, yeah. So go out there, and I think it's going to be an exciting game. I don't think the girls know what is now that their confidence is high. I don't think they are going. There is complacency that they will lose the game or drop their guards. I think they are in the game. They understand what the task is, and I believe that they are going to win or get the result against Ireland, which is enough for us. And also, they should bear in mind, I think we are going to, if we qualify, we might play one of the strongest side that top their group.
So it's good that we get a win and remain on top. Since we have the chance to do that. All right, let me just quickly go to Austin. Let me throw this one at you. We're probably going to ask Cecilia probably just 2 questions and end the segment, so we allow go rest. But Austin, you probably know more about the Irish than we do, and you've talked about the popularity of the sports in the UK and everything. And I agree with Ikena that those losses they've had wasn't because they've been woeful. It was close. So, how tough do you think the game against Nigeria is going to be?
It will be tough. It's going to be a tactical game, and the team with tactical discipline will win it. Take a look at that Irish team. You could tell that they've been nothing but unfortunate. Was it the first game against Australia? Created the chances, but it didn't just happen. Against Canada, they opened scoring early enough. Katie McCabe, she plays for Arsenal women's team. She scored a fantastic goal, arguably the finest goal I've seen at this Women's World Cup, from the corner kick, straight into the net. And then they also created chances. But somehow, Canada, because they needed that win, because they are Olympic champions, because they were still hurting from that goalless draw against Nigeria, needed to prove a point, pushed harder, and then they got that win 2-1. I totally agree that the Irish team can be spoilers against Nigeria. Why is it so? It's because these European countries, when they go for competitions, they tick off boxes. They do a lot of assessments, you know. So they would want to prove a point that they beat a team that didn't lose to Canada and defeated Australia. Now that's a win for them. They wouldn't qualify, but it's a big win for their preparation. So Coach Randy Wardrum and the Super Falcons need to keep their eyes on the prize. You've played the important matches. You've played the most difficult matches. Australia is ranked better than Ireland. Canada is ranked better than Ireland. Ireland is ranked 22nd in the world. The Super Falcons are ranked 40. And you've beaten teams that are ranked better than you. Just go and get the job done against Ireland. The least that you can do is don't lose that match. I think if they get in with that mentality and also have it in their mindset that they need to consolidate and be careful. And when I mean be careful, don't get too carried away. I like what they did with the Oshola and Informa Onumonu, Oshola and Kanu substitution. Coach Randy Wardrum knew that these Australians would want to find something to, you know, disrupt their plans. So he brought in Oshola, and it was just one pass, one chance, and she took it from a tight angle. The presence of mind to even chase the ball. She paused for just 1 second to pick her spot, and then she finished. That's the sort of play that can also do it against Ireland. When you create chances, you take it. Uche Nakanu with a fine, clear chance before halftime, she took it. Osinachi or Ale, just when you some defenders would have said, okay, let me start running back. The Australian defender was in a better position to clear the ball, but she still put her body in the line to finish it off. I think that's the mentality they also need to take into the game against Ireland. Cecilia Omorogbe is back with us. Let's go to Cecilia now. Cecilia, I'm worried about injuries, about knocks. I saw Asisa Toshala with big plaster. I saw Rashida Ajibade also plastered. I know 1 or 2 players picked knocks here and there. There was a time Alozie was limping. There was a time Tony Payne was limping. How are our girls doing against Ireland?
Yeah, I think we'll find out the whole information when they have their first real training session on Saturday, because they had, as I mentioned earlier, they had a recovery session. And then the coach hasn't really assessed the players so much. But when I spoke with Aziza, after the game, she had enough coming into the World Cup. I mean, that's why the coach didn't start on me. She said she wouldn't want to start a game when she's not 100% fit. So that she's agreed on that. And then if you look at these key players you mentioned, when I was talking to Osinachi Ohale after the game, I was wondering, where she was hit. She said she felt fine for now. So I'm sure maybe by tomorrow we should be able to know the injury update in camp. But I don't think there's really, maybe 1 few knocks here and there. As you mentioned, we even saw Tony Payne, with the way she was tackled down, she had to be substituted. And of course, the substitution that the coach made was because of those injuries, needed to take those players out and also bring in Alimata Inde. Also, we also saw that, that she was also taken out because of that. So by Saturday, after that first training, we should be able to know when players are having knocks and if it's serious, you see they won't train with the main team. You see them training on their own. And if all of them are training together, so it simply means there's nothing. So I'll pose a question to the coach, by tomorrow to find out, if there is any to be worried about. But I don't think it's really much because the way the players were dancing, the red carpet reception that they had, when they were welcomed back to the hotel, just like when they were leaving, when their hosts were with Nigerian flags and everything, they also got that reception back. The way they were dancing, I mean, I couldn't see anyone that had a knock. But just maybe the adrenaline still pumping, and then they're still, in that mood of victory. So maybe that before, but at least by Saturday, I should be able to give you guys an update to see how many players are really fit and ready to start.
You know what?
And
tell them to keep that mood. Don't forget, tell them we love them, we appreciate them, and we're rooting for them 100%. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for your time. Go get some sleep. We'll talk again. Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right. I'll hand it back to Yemi in Lagos.
All right, and that brings us to the end of that segment where we focus on Group B that has Nigeria, Australia, Canada, and the Irish. And just to let you know that it was brought to you by Stanbic IBTC, the official insurance partner of the Super Falcons. All right, let's move on. We're still on the matter, talking about the FIFA Women's World Cup. And let's quickly talk about Group D results. And Iken has said he watched a couple of the games. So let's give you some of the results. England in action, and that's it. England beating Denmark, a lone goal. China. We talked about this earlier, and just to do a recap. We talked about Argentina and South Africa in detail. China, Haiti, and slim margins. Apart from Zambia, that got hammered.
Morocco.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen to Morocco in the second game. Maybe I was like, because we were here praising the debutants. We've seen what Philippines have done.
Yeah.
A couple of the teams, Haiti got against France. Even with record, got a draw. I guess they were unlucky today. But England, I don't know. A lot of people, they've been getting the results, but injury worries here and there. They seem to be trudging on. I don't know if you agree, but it doesn't seem to be convincing.
The gap is closing. Generally, because I've been watching women football for a long time. You see teams hammer 10-0, 11-0, 8-0. The gap is closing. Because, especially in Europe, some of these players, Haiti, some of these Vietnam, some of these players play
in the US, play in England.
There was an incident that happened in the Holland USA game. There were two players that was going after each other. They were, scolding each other.
Yes.
They played together in PSG. Okay, so they know each other.
They were just trying to get at each other.
They were kicking each other. They were,
One of them got a goal, by the way, the US captain.
Immediately after he got the goal. So you know that these people are our teammates. Now imagine having our own Oshoala. She plays for Barcelona. They won the Champions League. What are you going to tell her? She's a big star. You understand? So there's no fear about me playing against Australia or playing against these teams. No, she has done it before.
She plays against those guys
regularly. Even when she got into that game against Australia, you can see the fear in their eyes. Okay, and that was why they committed that mistake, that blunder, and she scored for me. So the gap is closing in female football. It's going to. So you see, US normally during the group stages they use this thing to mop the floor, win them 8-0, 5-0, and they move. But now people are just taking out results here and there, just get a win and move on to the next game.
All right.
So the game against England, they scored earlier, 6 minutes. That was from Lauren James. They scored in 60 minutes, and it was a very difficult game for them against Denmark.
All right.
So it's interesting to watch. At least you're watching a game that is you find two sides that are at each other.
Going at each other.
Yeah.
All right. Let's quickly take some reaction. Coach Haruna Vigman of England, the Three Lionesses, and she's been talking. Let's listen to what. Then we get back to us, who knows a lot about this team and whether or not he agrees that they've been convincing. But first, let's listen to the England manager. We'll come back for more.
Of course, it's not nice when a player goes off the pitch that way, but we also know, unfortunately, these things happen sometimes in football, and you just have to move on. And you're at the World Cup, and you want to win that game, so we really have to adapt to the new situation as quick as possible, and that's what we did. The second half, they had also such a direct style of play that it became more fight games, and we also showed that we can fight. So I think the team showed really resilience, and we kept the 1-0. So that's really good, and I'm very proud of the team. Well, it's all about winning games, of course, and we also want to play well. I think we have had two total different games. Haiti was totally different than tonight. We never take anything for granted, so everyone thinks, oh, England's just going to win with more than 1 goal difference. Well, we have to work really hard every time we play any game, so that's what we did today too. And as you saw, we have a lot of ball possession, especially the first half. We dominated the game, but at the end we're really happy with the 1-0, and that's what counts.
All right, so Coach Haruna Vigman talking about England and the injury to Kira Walsh. Austin, let me just quickly come to you and ask you. I feel that they've not been convincing, and the coach even admits to that as well. But the English team, like the US team, transition, injuries, So some players didn't come and all of that. So back home in England, I don't know if they all accept that, well, it may have to be this way.
Look, I mean, they disagree with you 100%. The slogan here is 1-0, no problem. You know, because 1-0, they have advanced to the next round now. If they keep winning 1-0 till the final, play the final 1-0, and they win, they will be the crowned champions of the world. Remember when Spain did it at the World Cup in 2010 in South Africa? So what we should be saying, and Coach Sarina Wigman tried to tell us, is the resilience in this Lionesses team. It's the fighting spirit, because when Walsh got injured in the 38th minute, it disrupted the plan. It's all about tactics, you know. So they had to stay focused. I mean, there's any team in our world of sports, particularly football, that can hold on to a 1-0 win, that's a team that is disciplined. A 1-0 scoreline is difficult to keep. And Lauren James scored that fantastic goal in the 6th minute. When you score a goal that early and then you lose an instrumental player and then you keep that victory against a Denmark side that is also determined after winning their first game, knowing that if they win today or pick a draw, they will keep their relevance on that table. So that was a very difficult game. I mean, for anyone who jump up and say, they're not Denmark, no, they're a very decent side. They are ranked 13th in the world, and they've been making statements with women's football. So this was a very tactical game, and Coach Wigman just found a way to say, look, let's do the bare minimum, you know, and they were compact in midfield. Look at the presence of mind that Lauren James had to pick the pass from Rachel, dummied Amaka, and then finished off beautifully. And they kept that goal. I think the Lionesses, they are something very important, and we need to look at them closely. They are European champions. Before they went to this competition, remember I was telling you that right here in England, the fans were saying they don't care. If you can be European champions, you can also be world champions. And I think that's what they would take. A lot of injuries before the competition started, but these ladies are getting it going. A lot of them play right here in England. Lauren James has scored a beautiful goal, play for Chelsea. And then we can see some Arsenal players also in the mix. They will keep getting better.
All right, we'll see. So we've already talked about China, Haiti. So let's move on. Let's talk about Group F and Group F and G, the games to be played, and just quickly run through them. Saturday matches: France and Brazil. Panama will take on Jamaica. Sweden will take on Italy. The Swedes, I've been talking about the Italians, and you know they could take control of that group if they win. And Ikena, let me come to you quickly. We're pressed for time, but you know, we're beginning to hear things like Brazil is not all about Marta. They seem to have moved on. Even though she's there, she's playing a quite different role now. And the French, they're dealing with injuries to influential players. But your thoughts on how you think Sweden and Italy, what do you think will happen? France, Brazil?
These 3 games are a must-watch. 3 of them. You know, Jamaica they're exciting, picking up a draw in their first game and going to place Panama. They're excited, and they have a story behind them. How GoFundMe helped them to achieve, go into the competition and everything. France, I think France are itching to have their hands on this trophy. They have come close, and the dominance of Lyon in the Champions League aside this season has been awesome. Bringing a Javier Renard is a statement. So they are also going for this competition. And Brazil, the way they went into their first game, the way they played their first game, got everybody talking. The style, we saw that Jogo Bonito in the female team. So these 3 games, we have to stay awake, you know, get up early in the morning and watch the of them. They are going to be 4. Sweden, Italy, tough game. 2 Europeans, tough game. But I see, do I call it?
If you want to.
But I think Italians they might just sneak through this one. They might just sneak this one.
Because they have grit.
Yes, I just have that feeling.
Okay, all right. Ikena has been bold to call Sweden, Italy called it for the Italians. I'll sit on the fence as usual. All right, Austin, quick one before we go to basketball. I mean, these 3 matches, your thoughts quickly?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game of football, the one between Sweden and Italy, and that's because both sides labored in their first match. The Swedes had to do what they needed to do in just 5 minutes to snatch victory from South Africa. I watched the Italian women's team labor. They dug deep. They pushed Argentina, to get that important win. So for them, it's all about, consolidation. I don't know about the French team. The fact that they couldn't win their first game against a lowly rated side got me worried for them. So Brazil might just take that one. The game between Panama and Jamaica, whoever football wants to give, should take it. But right after this stage of action, we'll get into the final group games. Then I will start separating from
All right. Okay, since you talked about it, I'll yield the floor to you. We'll probably have a minute or less. Afro-basket. I'm going to be our parting shot on the show, but there's good news to report.
Good news, and I love it so much because despite everything that has gone wrong with basketball administration in Nigeria, these ladies put themselves together. Each time they have an opportunity to represent the fatherland, they do just that. The D Tigress, they have won this competition 3 times in a row. They have the three-peat, and now they're looking for the 4th title. And today they were so dominant against Congo DR. And that's how to do it, When you are the champion, you should go out there and show champion stuff. Shout out to Sarah Ogoke right there. She's an old guard in the team, and she's still doing her thing. 69-35. We just came off one. Not that I'm trying to run down the men. We just came out from one competition about the men, and Yemi and I struggled to talk about their performance. These girls, we know everything that happened, how they called for a trial. Some of them got angry about the way the federation went about it. But the ones that have been picked to work with a new coach, Wakama, have gone to the competition and they are showing champion stuff. We appreciate them and will continue to support the D Tigress.
All right, so that's the final take on the show. But let me just quickly, Austin talked about it, but there you have it on the screen, just confirmation. Nigeria winning the first game, the D Tigress, 69-35, and on Sunday we're playing against Egypt. So that's all the best to the ladies. All right, it's a wrap on the show. Austin, we have to go.
We have to go. That's the show right here in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right. I want to quickly thank Ikenna for his time on the show today. Hopefully we'll do this some other time.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll be here again.
All right. That's the show today. It's the last one for the week. We're going to be here again next week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you again. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.